Hi everyone, how you doing? You're welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah. On today's video, we're sewing this beautiful gown. I made use of Kampala fabric. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video with your soul friends. So guys, let's jump right into it. So to wrap this baby's gown, so the first thing we have to do is to get the width of the neckline. So for the width of my neckline, I'll be making use of 2.5 inches. Then the depth also, I will use 2.5 inches here. So now connect the line this way. Okay, so now we have a box here. Now you use a French curve to get the neckline. You place your French curve this way. So after connecting your neckline, now the next you have to do is to drop down the shoulder measurement. So for my shoulder measurement, I'm making use of 9 inches. 9 divided by 2 will give me 4.5. So here I'll put down 4.5 plus half inches for seam allowance. Now we're having 5 inches for the shoulder. So after doing that, now come down from my shoulder measurement here by half inches. This is for the shoulder slope because we are drafting for a child. Is it child or baby? For a 5 years old, you have to use 0.5 or 0.75 for your shoulder slope. After doing this, now come down from this half inches by the armhole, which we have 4.5. So here I'll put down 4.5. And I'll check what I have for my startup line. I have 5 inches. So I'll square this up. So now my armhole here, I'll put down 5 inches, which is the shoulder measurement, 5 inches here. So now connect down. So after connecting your armhole, now you have to divide the armhole by 2. 4.5 divided by 2 will give you 2.25. So here I'll put down 2.25 here, and I'll come in by half inches. So now this is the line we are making use of, not this other line. So you make use of this one, which is 5 inches. Connect this way. Now we came in from the middle of our armhole. We came in from the middle of the armhole by half inches here. We have half inches here. Now connect it with a straight line this way. Finish up with your curve. Okay. So now after doing the armhole, now after working on your armhole, the next you have to do is to divide your chest by 4. The chest I'm working with is 22. 22 divided by 4 will give me 5.5. Here we have 5.5. You now add half inches for ease. Now we have 6 inches. Then the next you have to get now is to get from shoulder down to the half length, which is the waist. Shoulder down to waist, I'm working with 10 inches here. So I'll come down here and mark 10 inches. Now you connect your line. This is the waist. Now I'll divide the waist. The waist I'm working with also is 22 inches. So 22 divided by 4 will give me 5.5 plus half inches for ease. When you are sewing for 0 to 8 years, you don't have to put that. So you just connect this way. So now cut this out. So this line we came in here is a guide for us that this is the center front. So you fold in this way, then now you cut out the neckline. Okay, this is my front. Now let's draft out the back. So for the back, this line I came in serve as my zipper. This is where the zipper will sit. I came in by 1 inches for zip. So now this line here is the startup line. The next we have to do now is to get from the shoulder down to the waist, which is 10 inches. Here I'll mark down 10 inches. So now connect this line together. So after doing this, now you get the width of your neckline, which is 2.5 inches for the width, then 1 inches for the depth. So now connect my neckline together. So after connecting your neckline, the next you have to do is to drop the width of your shoulder, which is 5 inches here. Then you come down by ½ inches for the shoulder slope. Then you connect it down to the width of your neckline. Then after doing that, now you get your armhole depth, which is 4.5 here, and mark. Then you check what you have from your startup line. We have 5 inches. You bring it down to your center back this way, 5 inches, and you mark also. So now we'll connect the armhole line together. So now after connecting your chest line, the next you have to do is to put down your shoulder measurement, which is 5 inches here. Then you connect with the straight line this way. So now you divide what you have here, divided by 2. 4.5 divided by 2, you have 2.25 here. So for the back, you come in by 0.25 and mark. So now you connect with the straight line first. Then you divide your chest by 4. The chest we're working with is 22 divided by 4 is 5.5, plus ½ inches for ease. We have 6 inches here. So now you connect your armhole this way. The waist I'm working with is 22 divided by 4 will give me 5.5, plus ½ inches for ease, that's 6 inches here. So now connect the straight line. So now cut this out also. I'm through with the cutting of the back and the front pattern. Now cut this piece on my fabric. I'm through cutting on my fabric. This is the back. On the side back, I added 2 inches for seam allowance. Here we have 2 inches here for the seam allowance. Then the sides already, we've already added the allowance for the zipper on the pattern, and I've cut out my lining also. Then for the front also, I added 2 inches for seam allowance. Then on the hem, I added for joining allowance 0.75. We use and join the remaining length of the gown. Then now we have to work on the front. So you remove your pattern paper from the fabric. So for the front now, you have the style we have on the thumbnail. You on the neckline here, you come in by ½ inches here and mark. So now you connect it down this way to get that V we have on the front. To not get to the hem of the half length, just this way. You can see the way I place my ruler. Then you connect it down. So now this, I'll be cutting this out. Then we'll now cut this on a lace, on a white lace. So I've cut it out, and your lace should be on fold. You cut out two. One will be the main fabric, and this will be the lining. So now you separate the pattern from the lining. And when you are cutting your lace, you have to add 0.25 for joining allowance. Use it to join it back to the main fabric. So this is the front. So you'll be turning the lace together this way. You can see how we turn. So now go and sew this on 0.25 round the neck line. I'm through with the sewing of the neckline. You can see how I sew. I sewed on 0.25. So now the next you have to do is to give it a lunge, and we give this a good press. You lunge round your neckline little by little, not much, just small this way, and you turn it to the front. Then you give it a good press. I'm through with the turning of the neckline for the front. Now we'll keep this aside to work on the back. So for the back, I will turn the neckline on 0.25. I will turn the center back also, the armhole and the side of the back. I'm done with the pressing of the center back. You can see how it looks. Now the next we have to do is to work on the front. I've gone ahead to sew the lace to the side front. You can see how it looks. This is how it looks at the front. So we give this a good press. I'm through with the ironing of the top. You can see how it is. This is the front and this is the back. Let me show you how I achieve this. So the first thing you do is to turn this way. You go and turn your armhole first. So now I'll go and sew my armhole on 0.25 down to the side this way. I'm done with the sewing of the armhole and the side. Now we have to turn the side of the half length. In order to do that, you bring your lining this way. You can see the way I place my lining. Then you bring it down like this. You can see how it is. When you want to get this, you have to separate your lining and separate the main fabric, so you join the lace at the middle. So now I'll go and join this on 0.25. This line we have here, I'll use it to sew it straight down. I'm done sewing it. You can see how it is. Now we'll turn it to the front this way. So you can see how it is now. Now I'll give this side a good press. I am through with the pressing of the front. You can see how it looks. This is the front and this is the back of my half length. So now the next we have to do is to join the shoulders. You bring your back this way. You can see the way I bring the back. You hold the front and the back this way. Then you come in from your back this way and you bring it out like this. So you bring it out this way. You make sure you arrange the shoulder very well like this. And now we'll pin down. We'll go and join on 1/2 inches on the shoulder. You pin down this way. So now we'll join the sides on 1/2 inches. I'm through with the joining of the shoulder. You can see how it looks. Now the next we have to do is to cut out the strap that is on the front that we use and make gathers. The length of my strap is 23. On fold is on fold, you can see. Then the width is by 3.5. So now the next we have to do is to cut out bridal satin that we use and tape the hem of the gathers. So for my bridal satin here, I have 1.25. The length of the bridal satin is the same thing as the length of the material we want to use for the gathers, which is 46 inches. So now we'll go and sew the bridal satin this way. The front of the bridal satin will be facing the back of the main material. So I will sew this on 0.25 down to the length of the material. I'm done sewing and I've folded this edge this way. You can see how it looks. Now the next we have to do is to go and sew gather stitch. I will sew the gather stitch from the up of this material here down to this other side, and I will tell you what to do next. I'm through with the sewing of the gathers. You can see I sewed 2 lines. So now I'll be drawing this gathers this way. You pick the one that is easy for you to draw, then you start drawing it. I'm done with the drawing of the gathers. You can see how it looks. So now to place this on the half length, you have to fold it this way. You fold it into 2 this way, then you bring the half length. So now we'll be fixing these gathers at this line here, this V line we have. You make sure the side that has fold like this is up, then you sew it down like this. I'll do this on this side of my half length, then I'll repeat the same thing also on this other side. I am through the sewing of the ruffle. You can see how it looks at the front. Now the next you have to do is to cut out strap. The width of my strap is by 1.75. So the length will be by what we have here. Then you fold it this way. You fold the up of your strap this way and you sew it down. I'll do this down here. Then I'll repeat the same thing here. Then I will tell you what to do next when I'm done. Now I'm done sewing it. You can see the way I sew. Now you turn it to this other side this way, and when you turn it, you fold it on 0.25 like this. This is how you do it, and you sew on it on the edge. I'll do this and show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'm through with the sewing of the ruffles. You can see how it looks. The next we have to do is to sew this the band on the top this way. We make use of the main fabric, and the width of my band is 1.5. The length is by what we have on the waist. So now I'll go and sew this down. I'm done with the joining of the band. You can see how it looks at the front, and this is the back. So now the next we have to do is to join the sides of this gown on 1.5 inches. So you divide what you have in your bust and mark. So for my seam allowance, I have 1.5 inches here. Then on the waist also 1.5 inches. So I'll do the same thing also on this other side of my half length. Then I will sew this down like this. Where I'm marking, this is where I will go and sew. And I will repeat the same thing also on this other side of my half length. So guys, I'm done with the joining of the side of my half length. You can see how it is. Now the next we have to do is to work on the lower part of the gown. So for the lower part of my gown, I have 25 inches, 25 and a half inches for the length of my lower part. I had folding allowance to the length, the folding allowance and the joining allowance to the half length. The full length of my gown is 34 and we've already minus 10 inches for the half length. Now we have 24 inches, then 1 inches for folding allowance. So now after doing that, now the next we have to do is to pipe the hem of the gown the way we did for the ruffles. So I'll go and sew this to the other side of my gown, and the width of my lower part is 1.10 yards. If you have more than that, you can use 2 yards so that it will be very fuller. So now I'll go and sew the hem of this gown. I'm through with the hem line. You can see how it looks. This is it. This is the front and this is the back of the hem of my gown. Now the next you have to do is to sew 2 lines for gathers. So I'll do that and tell you what to do next. I'm through with the sewing of the gathers. Now the next you have to do is to join the half length to the gathers. But when you want to join, you make sure you start to sew like this, like 0.25 from the half length, and you sew to the other side, and you make sure you leave 0.25 on the other side also. You sew now this. I'll sew this and show you what it looks like. I'm through with the joining of the gathers to the half length. You can see how it looks inside, and when you are joining the side, you have to fold your joining at the side this way. Now this is the front. Here, this is the front of the gown. Now the next we have to do is to work on the lining. So this is my lining. The lining is how many inches shorter than the main gown? 2 inches shorter than the main gown. So the next I have to do now is to fold the hem of the lining on half inches. You fold this way and you fold one more time. I'm through with the hemming of my lining. Now we'll keep the lining aside to work on the ad nets. So this is the ad net. When you want to get this ad net, you can see how shining it is, and it's like the rubber type, rubber like. You can see how it looks. And when you want to get it, you tell them the ad net is like, you know, the way ABBA lining is on roll. That's how it is also. So now, because of the way it's add on the body, it's kind of choking the body. We don't want that on the child, so we'll use the bodice satin to pipe the hem of the ad net. So you sew from the front. Yeah, this is the shining side and this is the back. So you sew from the back of the net. After you sew it, you now turn it to the front this way to use to close that place so it will not be choking the child. I'm through with the piping of the hem of my ad net. You can see how it looks neatly finished, and this is the front, this is the back. So now the next you have to do, you bring your lining. I came down for my lining by 2.5 inches. That's what you do. So now you start plinting. Because I have a half yard of ad net here, when you want to make yours, you can make use of 2 yards, but I have half yard, and the width, the length of my net is by 17.5, and the width is by the length of the ad net. So I just have only half yard of the net here. You can see 17.5. That's half yards. Now the next you have to do is just you sew it this way on half inches, then you turn it this way. This is how it will be. But as you're sewing, you'll be pleating it. Just give it tiny pleats like this. This is how I will do it. So I'm done sewing it. You can see how I did the pleating around it. Now you put it down this way. This is how it will look at the front. So now we'll be placing this on the gown. You sew it this way. This is how you sew. This 0.25 you left here, you continue this way and you sew it down. But when you are sewing the lining, you'll be giving it a bit of pleat so it will have that ball gown effect. So now I'll go and sew this on 1/2 inches. I'm through with the sewing. You can see how it looks at the front. So this is the inside. This is how it looks inside. And I've gone ahead also to join the sides with that 0.25 left at the side of the zipper. And I've given it a good press. Now the next you have to do is to join from the neckline here on 0.75 down to the hem of the gown. I'm through with the joining of this center back. You can see how it looks. Now here, this is where the zipper will be. So we start, so you fix your zipper this way. Now this is how you fix your zipper on the gown. So I'll go and sew this down, then we'll cut out the excess and fold it in this way. So I'll fix in my zipper like this. I'll do this for this side of my back, then I'll repeat the same thing also on this other side. I'm through the fixing of the zipper. You can see how beautiful this gown looks. Thank you, and thank you guys for watching to the end. I really appreciate you all. If you want what we have on the top nail, you cut on flea and you have that fuller effect. I did mine straight because of the fabric I'm working with. Thank you guys for watching to the end. I really appreciate you all. See you on the next one. God bless you.